welcome to my very first video on this channel, so yay! In this video I will be teaching you how to make these lovely DNA bracelets. I really like them. They're one of my favorite patterns because they're pretty easy. They don't require that many strings, only 13 strings, and they're really colorful. You'll need to choose 4 different colors. So you need to choose a color for, you need to choose one color for each edge of the DNA helix. So for that one, this would be purple and blue. You need to choose a color for the bases inside, which I chose red for this bracelet, and you need to choose the base color. So the background color, which I chose in here, is light blue. You will need 8 strings of your background color, 3 strings of your base color, and 1 string each of the side color, so that you will have 13 strings in total. You'll want to cut the background string and the base string about 42 inches, and you want to cut the side strings for the double helix a little longer, so about 56 inches. So first you want to group everything together, so it's okay if these aren't perfectly lined up. Make an overhand knot, and make sure that you get all the strings in, because if you miss a string then you will have problems later on. Alright, and once you have that, then clip your knot to your clipboard. So first we're going to make this braid at the end. You can save this part until the end of making your bracelet, but for me I just find it easier if I braid at the beginning, so I know that it will be long enough and I have saved enough string. So start braiding it. You want to separate these into three different chunks to get braided. Alright, so once you have a braid that's about 6 inches, then you want to make a knot at the end of it. Just to make sure that your braid doesn't become undone, and that will also make it easier for you to separate the strings when you actually start the pattern. Place your bracelet on the clipboard, and you can clip right above the knot if you like it. Some people like to work closer to the binder clip. I personally do because it just gives me more control and it helps the bracelet to slide around less. So first what you want to do is you want to separate one of the background strings. So for me that's white. I suggest using the colors that I use just for this one, or using whatever colors that you have that are close to mine. It will just be easier for you to follow this video if you use the colors I'm using. So after you separate the background color, then you want to use one of your strand colors. So for me, I'm using the green color, and use one of your base colors. So for me, that's yellow. And separate these 3 from the rest of your thread. So now take the green thread and do a forward knot. So remember, that's 2 forward knots whenever you do a forward knot, a backward knot, or a forward backward knot. And then you want to do a forward backward knot. Like so. So after you've knotted these, then put these off to the side and separate 2 more of your background colors. So for me that's white. And separate one of them. And make a forward knot. Now, taking the yellow string that you just knotted, be careful not to twist any of them, knot this background thread. Alright, and once you're done with that, then take the green thread and do a backward-forward knot, and then a forward-backward knot on the string that you knotted a few minutes ago. So now you have 5 strings knotted, so you can separate these. And now separate another base string and a background string. So for me that is a yellow string and a white string. And you want to make a forward knot from the yellow string, not the yellow string, make a forward knot over the white string. And now knot the white string over the next white string that you already knotted before. Now knot this yellow string that you already knotted and knot that over the current white string. Now with this yellow string that you have, knot it over the other white string that's in front of it. Now take the green string that you just used and do a forward-backward knot on it, and then another backward-forward knot on this very edge white string. You're going to end up making quite a few forward-backward knots on this string, so don't worry. So now we have that, and try and separate the strings that you've used already from the ones that you haven't. Take 2 white strings, oh, and I forgot to mention, so what you want to do now is knot this white string over the other white string. Then knot the neon string that you already used over the current white string. And sort of follow the pattern. So now this string will, this white string is not going to be knotting, it will be knotted by the other strings. And so you want it to go downward diagonally like this, and you want all of the strings to knot on top of it. And you don't have to do anything with the green string, we can just leave that string alone for a second. So now we're almost done with the first section. So now separate the strings that you haven't used from the ones you have used. Now, with your remaining strings that are left, you want to separate a bass string and a background string from the rest. And you want to do the same thing now. So, knot the yellow string over the white string, do a forward knot. And so just follow its diagonal path and knot every string that the string encounters. Make sure to stop once you've hit the string before the green string. So you don't want to knot on that second to last white string right there. Okay, so leave it like that. And now take your last 2 strings, oh, we're almost there, and with your blue on the left, you want to do a forward-backward knot. And now just make a straight line of knots down with this thread. And stop once you've reached the 3rd white string from the green string. Plus this one right here, which we'll forget about for a while. So now we take the green string and we knot over okay, and so now we have 3 white strings over here. So take this white string and knot 1 and 2. And with this white string you only need to knot 1. So with this one, you knot 1. There we go. And so we have the blue string that we were using before. So now it should be lined up. You did it right. Hopefully you did. So now line it up and you want to knot a forward knot on each of these white strings. And at the end, do a forward-backward knot. So yay! We've used all our strings, and your bracelet's a little wrinkly, but that's okay. So this corner right here, where the green and blue strings meet, this is really important. So we're going to make a triangle like this. So we're going to start working on one of these triangles here with little dots. So first, take your white string and make 7 forward knots. Great, and we can just leave it there for now. So now, you don't want to take this yellow string, you want to take the white string, and you want to knot this yellow string, knot a forward-backward knot, knot 5 more strings. So now with this string, we're going to do similar to what we did up here, which is you want it to be traveling in this direction, but you want every string that it faces, instead of knotting it, you want it to be knotted. So you should have an alternating pattern of yellow and white strings. And so once you knot yellow, white, yellow, then you'll have 2 whites left. Now you'll have a yellow and a white string here. So with the white string, you'll do similar to what we did a row earlier. So do a forward, backward knot, and then knot each successive string. So you have a total of 4 knots in this row. Now with this string, we'll do what's similar to what we did to the row two rows before. So we'll do yellow, and then white, and then white once more. Alright, we're almost done with this part. So now you'll have 3 strings here left. 3 strings left. So now you take the middle one, and on the yellow, you do forward and backward, and then just a forward knot. And then take the white and do a forward knot on the yellow string. So yay, we're done with this triangle now. So now we take the green string that's in the middle, and you want to knot each of these strings. And for the very last string, make sure you do a forward, backward knot. Alright, so now we're ready to do the middle. Alright, now we're ready to do this red part right in the middle. So, remember how I said that the corner of these 2 strings, the green and the blue, are very important? So take the 2 strings there in the middle, and take the left one and double knot it over the right one. And then knot it over the second one. So you have 2 strings, 2 knots. So now take the middle 2, you want to take the string angling this way, and the string angling this way. And you want to do 1, 2. And now with this blue string, you want to do a forward, backward knot over the first string that you knotted. So you want to do forward knot, and then a backward knot, and then over this white string on the very edge, do a backward knot and a forward knot. So now with the string that you just finished making 2 knots, this one you're going to do a 3rd knot right here. And do the same thing with the blue string that you did before. So do a forward knot, backward knot, and then a backward knot, forward knot. Now, take the yellow string and the white string right next to it, and make 4 forward knots with the yellow string. And now do the same thing with the white string right next to it. Make 4 forward knots. And do the same thing again that you did previously. Take the yellow string and make 4 knots. Take the white string and make 4 knots. And take the yellow string and make 4 knots. Now take this green string and make a forward, backward knot with the white string directly in front of it. And then make a backward, forward knot with the white string on the edge. Now with this white string, make 3 forward knots. do a forward backward and the backward forward sequence with this green string again. And then make 2 forward knots with the white string. And finally, make 2 forward knots with this green string. Alright, and now we take our blue string all the way over here, and you want to knot it all the way until you reach and including the green string. Alright, and now with these 3 strings on the side, make 2 forward knots with the first one. And 1 with the second one. And now with this blue string, forward knot the first 2 white strings. And then forward backward the last string. Yay! So now we finished an entire sequence, which is really cool. So now we're going to start this beginning again, and it's going to look a little nicer than it did up here, but I'll just walk you through that. So now we're going to make this triangle again that we did here, but we're going to do it on the other side. So first take this white string and knot it 7 times. So knot until you reach the green string, but don't knot the green string. Now take the second white string from the right and do a forward backward knot, so it's facing the other direction. And then knot 5 more times for a total of 6 knots on this row. And for these yellow strings over here, take this string and it's going to be moving in this direction, but like before, this string wants to be knotted. It doesn't want to do the knotting, it just wants to be knotted. So take the second string and knot over the first one. And now take the next string, it should be white, and knot it over the first one. Third string should be yellow, knot it over this initial string. Fourth string should be white. And fifth string is white as well. Now with this white string, do a forward backward knot. And knot 3 more times. With this yellow string here, you want to use the second string and not the first one. And then knot this yellow string with the remaining 2 white strings. Now take this white string here, the middle white string, and do a backward forward knot over the yellow string, and then a double forward knot over the next white string. And finally, take this white string and just double backward knot it over the yellow string. And now take the green string and knot it across all of these strings. And on the very last string, do a backward forward knot. Alright, you just completed your second triangle. So now we're going to create the second inside region. So you want to take these 2 strings at the top, one should be facing this way and one facing this way, and knot this white string twice that way. And now take the blue string and forward backward knot it first, And then on the outside string, backward forward knot. And then take the next pair of strings, and you want to make 3 knots with this white string. And do a forward backward knot with the blue string, and then a backward forward knot on the outside string, just like before. And now do similar to what we did to the previous opening. You want to take this yellow string and make 4 knots. Now take this white string and make 4 knots. And just continue with this pattern. So do 4 forward knots with the yellow string. 4 knots with the white string. And finally 4 knots with this yellow string right here. Second inner white string. Repeat what you did with the green string again. Backward forward knot. Forward backward knot. And now 2 knots with this white string. And now knot the remaining 2 strings with this green string. And now take this blue string, knot every single string until you reach the green string. And once you reach the green string, then switch strings and knot the green string over the blue string. Make a double backward knot with the green string over the blue string. Now take the outermost white string and make a backward knot over the next 2 white strings. Now take the outermost white string and backward knot it over the next white string. Now take the blue string and double forward knot it over the remaining 3. And on the very last one, make sure you do a forward backward knot. And so from here, the pattern essentially repeats itself, so you can go back to where I first showed you how to do this triangle right here, because this is just a continuation of that. And so this essential pattern just repeats itself for the entirety of the bracelet. So when you've made your bracelet as long as you want to, then just continue with the pattern, but you want to knot it so you don't have these diagonal lines anymore. You want to stop it so it's in a straight line like you did in the beginning. So, see right here, this ends in a straight line. So you're going to do the same thing here. So to do this, you're just going to follow the pattern as normal, but you're not going to knot the last 2 bracelets. You're not going to knot the last 2 strands. So this white string will be the last one that I'm knotting, and I will knot the last blue string or the white string. So just to eliminate confusion, I can separate these 4 strings over here since I won't be knotting with them anymore. And now do the same thing. So only knot these ones. So you don't want to knot these ones on the side, you just want to knot these ones. And don't forget to knot them in the same pattern that you've been following. Don't change the pattern at all. And so once you've knotted this one, the last one, then you can place these two strands off to the side and repeat. So you will only want to knot what's facing down. Don't knot the strings that are separated. And like before, separate these last two strings, put them off to the side so you don't knot them again. Now place these two strands off to the side, and finally take this yellow string and knot the remaining two strings. And you don't have to knot the last one since there's nothing for it to knot onto. So now that you have a flat edge, then take your bracelet and make an overhand knot with it. Good. And now clip it to your clipboard. And divide the strings into 3 groups, just like we did at the beginning of the bracelet. Braid the ends just like you braided them at the beginning. And when you think you've gotten to the length that is close to what you braided at the beginning, you can take your bracelet off and just compare the 2 braided tassels to check. Then take the ends and make an overhand knot. And now cut this remaining string. So you want to cut it so there's only about maybe ½ inch to an inch. It's about 1 centimeter to 2 centimeters. And you can actually compare this to the beginning. Remember when we braided in the beginning? So you can actually cut these so they're about the same length. So make sure to pull them tight just one last time. And then cut them so they're both about ½ inch long. And there you have it. You have your DNA bracelet. It's all complete. It looks fantastic. And thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel to see many more tutorials. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section down below. If you have any requests on what bracelet pattern you want me to make next, then please put them in the comment section. To buy these bracelets or any more that I've created, please visit my website, alex-innovations.weebly.com, and be sure to follow me on Instagram at alexinnovations. All of these links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!